the question that I am kicking off this episode with is, what is a rock star writer and what does it have to do with manifesting? And thirdly, why should you create one? That's what the conversation is going to be about today. And so, first of all, I'm going to start with a little bit of background because maybe you're not familiar with this terminology that I am using. And so, let's start with that foundation first. First of all, what is a writer? And it's right, like RIDER is what we're talking about. And this is typically a document that a band, a musician, or any type of artist or performer will send over or provide to the venue or the location where they will be performing with a list of their needs, wants, desires, creature comforts that they would like to have provided for them at the location. And it's called a rider because the document itself rides along with the main contract. So it's not part of the main contract document. It is a document, like an attachment or an amendment, addendum. Those might be words you're familiar with. And so it rides along with the main contract. And so it's called a rider. And this is from anyone performing, any type of performer at any venue, like public venue or venue where they are being paid, and maybe not even paid, but where they are coming to perform, do a show. Can be comedians have them, celebrities, anything along those lines. So this gives you a little bit of insight that this rider is designed or will help you start seeing yourself as a freaking rock star, because you are. And that doesn't have to have anything, not one damn bit, to do with music or being on stage. It is the mindset and embodying that energy and that belief that you are absolutely worthy of all your desires. So before I get too far ahead of myself, let me get back on track. So that's what a rider is. And it's a list of wants, needs, desires, creature comforts provided or requested by the artist, the musician, the band, whoever happens to be performing. And so most of the time, what is included on these riders are essential items, so to speak, that the performer or the artist needs to do their job the best, to perform at their best, to show up as the best in the best possible way, and hold that high standard, right, that people expect or that the artist themselves wants to deliver in this high, in the best manner possible. Think about like just everyday things, right? Like when, you have been running late or just things haven't been quite right. It can be whether you're showing up to class for a test or to work for a meeting, or just when just things aren't quite right. You're maybe doing a presentation or staying at a hotel and your normal things aren't there. The way you're used to doing things or the way that you are used to having things is not available to you, and you feel off. It just kind of, not that it's bad. You're just like, oh, if I had this, I'd be able to show up great. Or you wouldn't have to worry about tracking down all the equipment for your presentation. So that is a more everyday perspective, right? Instead of coming up or thinking of showing up to perform or do something like that, although it can be, doing a presentation is a performance. This, in a way, is a performance. I'm doing it myself, but I'm showing up, for other people. So think of it along those lines. See what kind of is easier for you to wrap your head around. So, and of course, or I shouldn't say of course, that's assuming, you may have heard of like the diva type writer request. Like, I want a bowl full of only red M&Ms or red Skittles or this, I don't know, whatever. All I can think of is candy. I'm sure there's other oddball things. If you probably search or Google it, I'm sure there'll be quite a list of rider requests and demands that you can look up. But the one that comes to mind is like only the red or the blue or whatever color M&Ms. And that may have not one thing to do with performing or showing up at their best, but it's something that the person likes. So maybe these types of requests can be or are a little diva-ish, but so what? Not in the sense of being mean or disrespectful to other people in any way, but who's to say that we shouldn't just show up in life or anywhere expecting the best and just the things that we like and embodying that energy, that type of mindset? Wouldn't just life go great if we could have these expectations and people just did them for us? All right, reining myself back in. So, since this writer that I'm talking about, includes requests that will create an ideal environment or conditions for the artist to perform, do what they are contracted or there to do, why don't you and me, why don't all of us create one for ourselves? Why don't you create one for yourself that will help you, designed to help you show up as the best version of you, aka your rock star self, the rock star of your life, which is what you hear me talk about all of the time. So, in order to do this, I'm going to walk you through why it's important, kind of why this is a benefit. And I'm going to wrap up with some ideas just for fun, kind of spitballing, share some of my writer requirements or requests. So think of it as the things on this writer that you will list are designed to help you show up as your best self. And that can be anything from small requests to things that really do help you perform or show up your best, to indulgences, creature comforts, things that make you feel good so that you can then be that best version of yourself. So just next in line, I'm going to talk about what does creating a writer do? What does creating a rockstar writer for yourself do in this, life that you're living? You're not maybe going to, the Dolby Theater, which is where they have the Oscars here in LA. You might not be doing something on that scale, but you are still waking up every day and showing up for your life. So what better thing to work on than what will help you show up for your life in the best way and enjoy your life in the best way by helping you feel comfortable, confident, ready, prepared, the best you. So creating your own personal rockstar writer normalizes making yourself the priority. Because if you're human, I'm sure on some level, that does not come naturally to us, or a lot of us, right? I'm speaking for my personal experience as well. Making ourselves the priority does not come naturally. I mean, think about it. There is an entire, I'm going to guess, multi-million-dollar industry now for self-care, making yourself the priority. And what if we did this on a continual basis and not wait until it was so that we're not experiencing negative results, like when it just like to avoid burnout or after you've gotten to burnout and then doing self-care? What if you did it on a regular basis, made that part of your expectations, the things that you include in your life? So it normalizes making yourself the priority. And yes, all these things that I'm going to talk about may not feel comfortable right away. It may not come naturally, but guess what? The rock star kind of had to step into it as well, right? The kid that is practicing in a band and with a band in their garage or in their basement, it might not come across be very easy to step into that, but you grow into it. You practice. You have people along the way helping you, or the rock star does, the performer does. So why not you as well? So I'm here kind of to guide you through this process and hopefully help make this normal for you. It also, next in line, normalizes asking for what you want or need. This is along those same lines as putting ourselves first. Asking and speaking up and telling people what we want or what we need does not always come naturally. We defer to other people's wants. We defer to making others comfortable. We defer to being of service to other people to the extent that it depletes us, that we are not our best selves to be of service to them. So then it becomes draining. We may develop resentments, right? So it normalizes speaking up, speaking your voice, taking control of communicating the things that you want instead of hoping and wishing and just kind of, okay, if I do this, just like don't make a lot of waves, maybe it'll be easier or no. It's time to start speaking your damn truth, saying what you want and getting used to that, making that normal for yourself. Next on the list is it normalizes and strengthens the belief that you are the rock star of your life and deserving of every little thing that you desire, while also along the way providing a creative way for you to continually up-level your expectations, up-level the things that you expect to happen and to go right, and the way that you expect things to work out for you. If you start developing a belief that everything is working out for you and that everything is there to support you, guess what? It will start showing up. And this rock star writer that I am talking about is the way for you to start creatively getting used to that, making yourself the rock star of your life, stepping into that mindset that anything is possible, that all your desires from little to huge and extreme and audacious are there for you, available to you, and that you will get them because you are just deserving of them by being you and by being here. You don't have to do anything to be deserving. You already are. It's up to you to step into that and work through the discomfort that you experience at first as that becomes your new normal. So those are some reasons why what creating a rockstar writer will do. And all of these things that I talked about, normalizing making yourself the priority, normalizing asking for what you want and what you need, and normalizing and strengthening the belief that you are worthy and deserving, all of these things collectively raise your vibration. It supports, it helps create a good feeling, right? You're feeling good when things are going your way. You're feeling good when you expect good things to happen because you're excited about them. And then when you develop and strengthen this belief that you are worthy and that all these things are coming for you, when challenges show up, you're like, okay, that's okay. I'll work around it. It's a detour, a pivot, whatever, but I'll still get to my destination. It's still there for me. It hasn't gone anywhere. I'm just taking a little bit of a detour. Maybe the detour will actually get you there faster. You never know. So it raises your vibration. It supports you feeling good, and it creates a space. This document, whether you create it on a tablet, an actual paper document, something in your journal or your planner or somewhere on your computer, or have it on your vision board, which is an amazing thing to do. All of this creates space for dreaming, having fun, and it opens up the floodgates of manifesting because you become receptive. The more you start showing up as this kick-ass person that you are, then it opens up the floodgates to receive all the things that you desire and more. Like things that you weren't even aware of, things that just show up in your life because you're raising your vibration and your energy so much and doing the work to stay there and get back there when we do get derailed, because that will happen. That's life. But by raising your vibration and your energy, you attract things, you attract people, you attract circumstances that you weren't even aware of that you wanted. But you are attracting them because they match your vibration. They are like a magnet. You are like a magnet that starts attracting these things because you're on the same vibration. And so that's why I consistently talk about setting feelings-based intentions, which are intentions about how you want to feel, and why I always talk about, along with that, becoming the person, start showing up in whatever tiny capacity and build on that little by little, start showing up as that person who's already living that life so you can attract all these things and more, much more easy, much more easily, much easier, something along those lines, than if you made the focus making it happen and kept your focus solely on the thing, because then you lose track of all the other things. And you know what else? When you make the thing, like the goal, the result, your primary focus, when you get there, it's kind of like, okay, now what? Then you have to maybe come up with a new dream, or you're just like, oh, how long is this going to last before it goes away? But if you simply focus on becoming the best version of you all the time and showing up as that version, it will just compound. You will attract more and more. You don't worry about it going away. You know that there's something else. And every time you have a desire or something you want to try, you put it on your list. You put the new thing that you want to have available on your rider. And I am going to do an episode on goal setting in a creative way later on. So stay tuned for that. So that's what having a rockstar rider, raising vibration, helping you show up on a consistent basis as the rock star of your life and expecting wonderful things. So now that we've talked about, I've gone over what a rock star rider is, what purpose it serves in the entertainment industry, and how you can apply this to your everyday life to create your rock star rider. Let's go over some things, categories of things that you might want to include on your rider. And this is to help you get started. So you can put these things, of course, but I really do encourage you to also just keep going. See what things come up for you as you start creating this, and then just go crazy. Keep creating and amending and up-leveling your rider as you up-level your life and the things that you are attracting and manifesting. So depending, you can do these for specific feelings-based intentions that you have, or simply, I shouldn't say simply, or overall for your life in general. So something that you can include: food that supports your health, so supports the health of you and your body, right? Showing up as the best version of you consists of being as healthy as you can and improving your health to whatever capacity you can to then enjoy life and the experiences and the things that you are attracting. So you can include food that would support a healthy lifestyle. And then, because you're thinking about this, maybe you start buying better food. Maybe you come across some great deals. Maybe you start going to a farmer's market and you meet someone that really provides an excellent opportunity for you, or, who knows what. There are infinite ways that all this can play out. So you can include the types of food that you want to eat and have available to you. You can include help or support that you are looking for, be it daycare, be it, someone to help around the house. And these are things that I encourage you. It might be hard at first. It's going to maybe feel a little uncomfortable and unattainable. That's okay. You're creating space for yourself to dream. And, you're not giving this to anyone, but you can embody the energy as if you were going to hand this list off to someone and have this provided to you. Embodying that energy really is plenty. It's this paper and this list that you're creating is to help you. But as you write out your list, be specific and think of it as if you were going to give this to someone. So for example, let's say you like a specific brand of salsa, and salsa maybe is a good addition to your diet. I struggle with spicy food, so that would not be one of mine. But if you like salsa, what brand of salsa would you like to be delivered for you? What, mild, medium, hot, death grip? I don't know what the levels of salsa are, right? So don't just write salsa, because someone who looks at, they might just grab the cheapest kind, or the kind that is not made with all natural products or has preservatives or whatever the case is. So the type of food that you want, the types of vegetables, maybe fruit salad, with the multiple types of fruits. Be as specific as you can without stressing about it. And the reason I say be as specific as you can is because when we can tend to start kind of obsessing or going of like, oh, I don't know what color or what size or what this or what. No. All this stuff will develop. It is a practice that you will get better at. So just be as specific as you can. If all that comes up to mind when you say salsa is, what's a brand of salsa? Ortega, is that a salsa? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a salsa person, which, a lot of my family just doesn't get, but that's okay. So, dressings or foods or dips, if you like hummus, what brand of hummus do you like? What flavor hummus do you like? Do you like baby carrots? Do you like the bigger carrots? Things along those lines that you don't really have to stress too much about. It's just providing details and filler. So getting back to support that would make your life easier. Maybe it's having someone come tidy up your house a few days a week or every day of the week, or having someone meal prep for you, or ordering those meal kits, right? Those meal kits that use better quality food that you wouldn't then have to go out and get, things that save you time. And don't worry, please, please, please. Do not worry if this is not something that is available to you right now. This is to help you start dreaming and start normalizing. So if you would like to have like food delivered to your home in the pre-prepped meal kits, write that on there. Look up, or if you know the name of the company that you would choose, or just a name of a company that provides this service, write that down. Order, weekly food from Fill My Fridge. I think I just made that up. I don't think that's a real one, but order weekly food prep from Fill My Fridge. Have someone clean the house or come help me with the house and laundry 3 days a week. Have someone take the kids to an activity 1 day a week so that I can have some quiet in the house to get something done, right? So things and support that would help you, that you would ideally love to have. Someone to cook my food for me, have a chef or whatever the case is. Include indulgences, little and small. Do you like the fuzzy bathrobes that they have at hotels, and the matching slippers? Do you like those eye patches, the eye masks or whatever? Include these little indulgences on your rider because they make you feel good, because you like them. And if you've never tried one, put it on there as a thing to try, because this is a perfect opportunity to think of things that you would like to have someone, make available to you to try them. Products that you would like to use. This can also include up-leveling products, like the higher cost shampoo, or better skincare products, or something up-leveled from where you are right now, or if there's a particular product that you would like to get. Having exercise equipment available to you. Maybe that's portable, like the exercise bands or little travel weights that you would show up and, do some quick weights, weights or reps, or have those available at your work desk for breaks that you take during Pomodoro breaks or just breaks throughout the day. You will start seeing opportunities to include things on your rider everywhere the more you make this a practice and the more that you do it. You can also include boundaries. What? I talked about boundaries on a previous episode and using the F-bomb to help you establish and maintain boundaries. So head back an episode or two to check that out. But have boundaries on there. Like you need maybe if you work at home or wherever, you need two. This is one of the examples that I spoke about in that boundaries episode. Having 4 hours, I said from 10 to 2 of no TV on so that I could get some work done without distractions. If I was, I hadn't come up with or come across this concept of creating our own Rockstar Writers at the time, but that would be something that I would include. I need 4 hours of quiet time, no TV or whatever the case is, or I need to work on have this time set aside at this time of day where someone takes care of the kids or that is not having, like I had electronics on to not, so that you can do your work. Boundaries like that can be included in your writer. The types or brand of clothing that you would like to wear, up level it a bit. If you have a brand of something that you truly love and you're like, this is the only really line of jeans that I love, fine, include those. Of course, it's all things that you love or that make you feel good. But is there a brand or a style of clothing or something, that you would like to maybe have more of? If you work from home, for example, this was something that I kind of, experienced at first when everything was shut down and everyone was at home. I just defaulted to the, worn out kind of yoga pants or whatever that I'd had for a long time. But the more that I stepped into really doing my business and growing it and showing up as the entrepreneur that I am, I still stayed with comfy clothing, but it was more, what do they call it? Athleisure. So I did. I started getting better quality leggings, and it wasn't just like the threadbare old t-shirts that were all stretched out that I would wear. Even though I was staying home and being comfortable, the types of clothing that I wore changed. And one of the things that when I wrote out a couple of things as I was preparing this episode or the notes for this episode, one thing that I now have on my Rockstar Writer is a Roomba, one of those little vacuum robots, because the little studio that I'm in is attached to my aunt's house. It's its own space, but it doesn't have storage. So like for vacuums and things like that in here. So I have to go out and get the big clunky vacuum and do all the things. So I was thinking about that because I had just vacuumed when I was, the day before when I wrote this writer. I wrote a Roomba because then it would just keep the floors clean all the time. I could program it. It would do its thing. I wouldn't, now that we're in like barefoot season, I wouldn't be walking in and, feeling all the food crumbs or the bits of dirt and sand that come walking in on my shoes. So I personally now have a Roomba on my Rockstar Writer because that would make my life so much easier. Not only saving time from having to go and get the vacuum, plug it in, set it up, hold on to the cord. Is that something that is life-changing? Maybe not. But oh my gosh, would I love to have a Roomba. So now it's on my writer, and I keep my writer in my journal. So that's where it is. I have it flagged with a, little sticky flag, and I put writer on there. So I start including things on there. I also want to have, I wrote it this morning actually, is one of those fans that don't have blades. You still feel the air coming through, but it's a little swankier than the regular fan that I have. There's nothing wrong with my fan, but that would be cool to have. So think about things like that. Wouldn't it be fun if I could have that? Wouldn't it be cool if I had this, right? And like I said, you will start seeing more and more opportunities in your everyday life and in the things that you use, from bedding to types of furniture to dishes, types of food, all these things. And as you come across them, just include them in your writer and see what starts happening. Because if you start making this list from the energy and in that thought process that I'm going to hand this over, then guess what? Maybe just maybe the universe will start delivering and start conspiring on your behalf as you, of course, continue to embody and show up as the rock star of your life. And these things will magically become available to you. I say magically, but of course, it's just that's how things work. We don't have to know ahead of time, right? Like I just put Rockstar Writer on my list. I'm not planning to go get one right now. I'm not going to run out the door. Maybe I'll happen to be at a store and think about it, go down the aisle because I thought about it. Maybe that's the way I get it because I hadn't thought about it before. Maybe one will show up somehow. I'm not worried about it. I just wrote it down. And the way it shows up is going to be amazing. Because I'm expecting it. Might I be the one that buys it? Maybe. Might it show up in another way? Maybe. Who knows? That's not my problem. It's the universe's doing. It will lead me to the right opportunity to buy it, or it'll bring it into my life in some way. I don't have to worry about it. And so it also is a way of kind of keeping track of the things that you want to try and remembering these little things. Like when you see something on a commercial or on a TV show, ooh, that looks like a cool product. I want that on my writer. And the more you start making this normal, you just start developing this reserve of things that you want to try and things that will improve your life and help you show up as the best person. So I'm excited to hear what you will include in your Rockstar Writers. You can leave comments depending on where you're watching or listening to this. You can also email me because I do check my emails and respond. So if you want to email me and put a little bit more energy, like pretend you're sending it to, the staff, the staffing or the agency or whatever, I'm going to give them to you. But if you want to send it to me on email to say, hey, this is the writer that I'm creating, the email address is vision, VISION, at bluemoonmanifestations.com. And I will write you back and say, writer received this. I can't wait to hear you. So give it a try and let me know what synchronicities you experience or what you notice. And more importantly, how you start to feel, how you start to take up space in a room, how you start to think about the things that you desire. Even if you don't know how they're going to happen, just include them on your list. So that's what I have for you. And as of the date that I'm recording this, which is May 17th, 2023, on Monday, May 22nd, I'm kicking off an email class called Rockstar Manifesting with Essential Oils. And there is nothing to show up for with this class. It's going to be lessons delivered to your inbox. But to get them, you have to register your email and save your seat, so to speak, in the classroom, which is your email inbox, by registering your email at the link in the comments or somewhere, the descriptions, wherever you're watching or listening to this. And if you're watching this in the future, and this has already happened, I invite you, everyone, whether you're participating in the email class or it's past or whatever, to head over to the Moon Manifesting Rockstars Facebook group. It is a free group and it is an amazing community. And that's where I do classes live sometimes. Everything, like when I have classes in there, as long as you're in the group, you have access to them. But for this email class, I'm going to be posting a post in the Facebook group that coincides with the email lesson. And by participating and commenting along those threads or on those threads, that will automatically enter you for prizes from this email class that will be starting. So again, if you're watching this in the future, there's going to be something else coming up, or maybe the email class will be happening again, because that is how I'm setting this up. I've done a lot of reorganizing and kind of mapping things out. And this Facebook group space is where I'm going to do things like that. And all you have to do is be part of the group to be in on the things that happen there. It's a free group. And this email class is also zero cost. So head on over there and say hello. And I hope to see you in class if you're watching or listening to this before the 22nd. And that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you, and subscribe to the podcast so that you know when the next episode is posted. And